I have a confession to make. I slept in this morning. I slept in for sunrise while in Acadia National Park. I chose the comfort of my pillows and sheets over going out for sunrise. This is a landscape photography channel. What was I thinking? Well, there it is. I said it. Oh, did I mention I met a photographer at Eagle Lake later that day, Zoran from Boston? We had a fantastic conversation about photography, exchanged info. At one point, Zoran had mentioned, wasn't that a wonderful sunrise this morning? Oh, insult to injury. But I needed to hear that, and I so deserved it. Lesson learned. So the dilemma I have right now is that I still have no images to share of sunrise on this video. So I had an idea. I reached out to Zoran and asked him if he had any images from that morning. Well, it turns out Zoran has his own story of unfortunate events that happened, but he did manage to have one image that he can share for this video. And so we're going to begin this video with Zoran's image. Zoran, you basically saved the beginning of this video. Thank you. I'll share a link to his stuff. I think you really enjoy his portfolio, some really exquisite stuff. And yeah, there you go. I confessed, I feel better. Kind of foolish, but it all works out in the end, doesn't it? Enjoy. Well, good morning, everyone. It is by far the best day in the park yet. I'm just finishing up cleaning for breakfast, and we'll do a little scouting for some locations that I haven't been to, with the exception of Eagle Lake. We're going to start at Bubble Pond, which is on the loop. Scout out that pond for it's more of a late morning sort of thing, because I think Cadillac Mountain and Palmettic prevent the sun from getting in early in the morning. So we'll scout that out. From there, we'll head up to Duck Brook Bridge and then Eagle Lake, and in that order. It just makes more sense. So that's going to be the late morning, early afternoon. Hope to get the bike out, maybe hit some of the carriage roads, and then see what comes from there. All right, we're ready to go. Camp is cleaned up, bike is mounted, top is down. Bubble Pond is first. Let's do some scouting. Let's go. Park is busy today. I think I got a little spoiled in the week. It was a little bit chillier. It was a weekday, not a weekend. And I just basically had the park to myself. So now I'm wondering, the next stop will be Bubble Pond, if I'm even going to be able to get in there. Nah. I was about to discover the Bubble Pond parking lot is extremely small, and I wasn't feeling lucky I'd grab a spot. It is full. So that's a bummer. This was my first stop. I was really looking forward to seeing this pond, Bubble Pond. Good things come to those who wait. Luck would have it, some lady was leaving. She seen me waiting. She ran over and told me she'd be taking off in a few minutes. If I can just hang tight, got myself a spot. As it turns out, I didn't need my bike. From the parking lot, it's a very short walk, but the carriage roads do run through this intersection, so I might just explore them after I'm done scouting. This glacial valley rests between two nearby mountains, Palmettic to the southwest and Cadillac to the northeast. It has such simple shapes and contours. yet an elegant seam formed by massive ice sheets upwards of 2 miles high from the last glacial period thousands of years ago. I'm going to get Sun Surveyor out and see where that sun is going to rise tomorrow morning. It's going to be somewhere in this general area here, so it's most likely going to be a side-lit scene, but we have beautiful foreground elements with some of these geological features. So this is going to be nice, and I shouldn't have any trouble parking. Like everything in Acadia, beauty is everywhere, and it persuades the heart and mind to release your anxieties, to let down your guard and let her in, to fill you with her enchanting draw. I worked several angles of this simple shot to get a feel for compositions when I return tomorrow morning. I wanted more intimate images, but this front-on reveal just kept calling me. I had planned to explore Bubble Pond a bit more tomorrow, beyond where I was shooting. I now knew enough about access, the lay of the land, and a sense of place. It was time to move on and do more scouting. All right, nice stop. We are on our way. Next stop will be Duck Brook Bridge. And I have not been to that location before, nor have I this one actually. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, more of these more intimate scenes. You know, this is more of your classic pond shot, the foreground rock, so there's nothing special as far as the photograph goes. But that said, it's still a shot that just, you know, I'm finding exciting. It's jazzing me up. We'll get that shot and then maybe look for some other intimate stuff elsewhere. Duck Brook Bridge is one of 16 unique Rockefeller bridges found throughout the carriage road trails. Aside from the gorgeous architecture, I was interested in what lies below. I spoke with a few locals and learned that they use these trails often for walks and bike rides. Acadia is surrounded by small towns, and what a paradise to have this in your backyard. There are 45 miles of carriage roads and over 150 miles of hiking trails. It's a 7-hour drive from Connecticut, and my good friend Sam Carr said it quite nicely. He said, "It is so easy to love Acadia, that it is in our backyard, our big yard. Makes it accessible and relatively easy to get to, although far enough away that we will never get to take her for granted." Man, I love that. So I explored underneath both sides of the bridge and made a few iPhone photographs in this challenging light, but I did not plan to return when the light would be better. There was more to explore and the clock was ticking. Scouting has many benefits, including the decision-making process for your next day when the light is most favorable. Off to Eagle Lake. That's next. Okay, so this is Eagle Lake. This is the northern side, and we're going to do the carriage loop 6 miles around the lake. Hop on the bike, just take a nice ride right around and just do some scouting. Well, at this rate, I'll never get around the lake and do the 6 mile loop. Within the last 50 yards, I stopped 3 times, 3 possible areas for sunrise for decent composition. I suspect I may find a few more over here, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, this section right here is quite lovely. Very doable. Well, it turns out I didn't get too far. In fact, I didn't even make 25 steps or 25 pedals to the next section right here. So again, this whole area, this whole northern section is just beaming with beauty. I have a hard time in the morning if I come back. Check this out. I biked the entire 6 mile loop around Eagle Lake to see if the southern side had any visual opportunities for photography.
I think the northern portion might be our really dangerous one anyway. Regardless, there's plenty to shoot in the northern shore. It is gorgeous. I'm going downhill. Going uphill for a while now. Alright, let's enjoy the ride. Going clockwise on the loop. I'm 4 miles in, and this is the first area where there was access down to the lake, and this can work for shooting into the sun at sunset. Yeah, check this out. So the northern side and a little of the northwest side have the best chances of making a photograph with lake views. In front of us is Eagle Lake Bridge. Like Duck Brook Bridge, all 16 carriage road bridges were uniquely built from local granite, a true work of art and mastery, and a passion of Rockefeller from his days as a child when his father built carriage roads on their private estates. All right, time to head back to camp, enjoy a meal, then head back out for sunset. Well, good evening, everyone. Just leaving camp again. I came back to eat, clean up, and I'm headed back out for sunset. It's about an hour before sunset, and hopefully get some decent light tonight. It's a beautiful evening. I decided to do Eagle Lake for sunset because on Mount Desert Island there's just so many east-facing points to shoot sunrise, but there's not too many things on the west side that give you opportunities outside of Outer Point and Outer Cove. So I'll do Eagle Lake tonight for sunset. Then I'm thinking in the morning, I'm definitely going back to Bubble Pond, but that's later on in the morning because the sun just doesn't get into that valley section there. But when I get back to camp tonight, I'm going to lock it in. Yeah, so let's talk about sunset, or the lack thereof. Remember how this video began? If only I got up for sunrise and happened to miss sunset for, say, a good meal and a nice cold beer. That would have been a win-win. Instead, I missed out on both opportunities for the best light of the day. So, to sum it up, sunset was average. I made 3 images, one of which I did like though. I then put the camera away and enjoyed a nice conversation with Zoran. I was looking forward to a campfire tonight, although I still wrestled with the idea of staying out for an astro shoot. Honestly though, I was tired and I wasn't planning on missing another sunrise for the remainder of my stay here. And as you'll soon see in the next episode, sunrise did not disappoint.